Good morning. This is Bill from Auto Europe in Naples on a, slightly muggy Florida impending summer morning. We're basically there. We're already getting our afternoon torrential showers. It's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of an obnoxious time of year. It's not really going to get better until at least November, so all we can do is go with it and bear it and put up with it until the fantastic weather comes back. In the meantime, the construction is getting closer to getting done, thank God. They've mudded all the cars. They have mudded the cars. They've mudded the building and finally got the plastic sheeting off our cars over there, so that's a plus. Hopefully we won't have to put up with too much more crap. I know the paint guys are coming soon, and definitely we'll be getting the cars out of there for that, but maybe that'll be it, at least until the landscapers show up. Now, as promised, I've been nagged to death by a commenter named Daimler. I'm not sure if he's British or German, but either way, he wanted me to do a review on this GX, or the LX 470 we had that's now gone, so that just leaves the GX. Now, I did a GX before, which is frankly one of the reasons that I didn't redo it. But far be it from me to, say no to anyone, so here it is. I'm going to do this thing. It's a 2008 Lexus. Look at this. We got airplanes coming in super low. Super low. Right overhead. Low enough to drop bombs on me. Anyway, this is a 2008 Lexus GX 470. And one thing that's really neat about this thing, at least from my perspective, is that if you took the entire Lexus lineup for 2008 and you compared it to the European competitors, you would find that Lexus, generally speaking, was softer, more cushy, not quite as performance-oriented, that it was just one of those vehicles. That Lexus is soft. They're basically soft until you get to the SUV lineup, at least during these years. And then, all of a sudden, even their mid-size SUV, we're not going to get into the RX thing because that's different, but you take the GX and the LX, and they have it all over Mercedes and BMW, certainly in terms of off-road credibility. I mean, this thing is a miniature Range Rover that, frankly, is much more dependable than any Range Rover. Body on frame, full-size suspension, made to tackle the roughest wilderness. I mean, it's unbelievable that Lexus, this company known for its soft, sort of plushy cars, build things that would actually lay waste to Mercedes-Benz or BMW in the off-road department. Okay, you could get into that G-Wagon from Mercedes, and that's fine. That's a whole different ball of wax. I mean, that's either a military reconnaissance vehicle or something used to move Kardashians around. It's not even comparable. But comparing this to the ML or the bigger one to the GL, it is way more substantial in terms of off-road credibility. You can see it sits very tall, very high greenhouse on this thing. It's based on the 4Runner platform. Also in other countries, it's the Land Cruiser Prado, and in order to give it a third row seat, they kind of heightened the car quite a bit, made it a little bit wider as well. So it's a bit oddly shaped, but it does all work and come together. You also get this big cladding stuff down the side. You get illuminated door sills that are made to make getting in the car at your Whole Foods a bit easier. And that is another thing that's kind of interesting, is that these cars in America, in the United States, maybe they'll see a snowy driveway, but nobody is taking these things off-road. Not really, not in any significant sort of way, and that is precisely what they've been built for. So as a result of that, the ride suffers. I mean, it doesn't ride nearly as cushy as a big sort of fake SUV that's designed to go out in the parking lots without having any off-road capability. So the body on frame and live rear axle does stiffen it up a bit. To me, that's fantastic. That's fine. I love having an SUV that is a true off-road capable vehicle. Too many of them are just big goofy jokes, so not this thing. All right, let's get in the back. Another feature that I quite like on these is this side opening door. I think that's quite cool. You know, again, sort of different from most other stuff out there. It does have this third row seating capability. I mean, unless you're that guy from Game of Thrones, the little guy, you're oh, come on. Even then, you're probably not going to be very happy. I mean, it is a small, no footroom kind of rear passenger type setup. I mean, I think it's there just to be there, to give it that, you know, list on the option package or, you know, standard equipment package. But you can. I mean, you can run the seats down. You can fit a couple little ratty kids in there or whatever you want to stuff back there. You're Canadians. They'll probably be chipper enough. And it does have 3-point seat belts to keep them safe. Also, these kind of cool off-roading looking hooks that go over the oh shit handles to keep the seats up in that position. You all get some kind of Lexus, you know, accessory rubber thingamabob down there. Those are the original mats, all very nice stuff. On the back of the tailgate, you get this little net area with a cinch for the first aid kit, a little area for the jack and stuff. This does have the Mark Levinson sound system, so you get some extra speakers back there you otherwise might not have. All right, let's see what else we got. You do have a nice big rear spoiler over the top. You've got cargo boards there. You see it does have the bars in there, so if you want to stuff something up there like, you know, Granny from the Beverly Hillbillies or Mitt Romney's dog, you can stuff it up there just fine. Tie it down, it'll be good to go. Here in the back seats, all very nice stuff. You know, you get into Lexus's incredible fit and finish, and they're very nice materials. So, again, this rugged sort of body-on-frame, tough guy SUV is all full of lovely polished wood and bunched up leather and soft materials. I mean, it's like a really fancy waiting room for a modern computer company or plastic surgeon's office. You've got rear air conditioning controls down there, all very nice. You've got a little armrest with cup holders to put your stuff. Lovely. Those seats, of course, do fold down if you need to get more cargo, as they should in any SUV. And everyone will be real chipper with the cargo room in this thing, or the seating, or the happiness of just sitting back here, because it is such lovely materials and a nice big roomy area. So kudos to Lexus on that. They did do a very nice job of equipping this car. There you see those illuminated running boards. Before we get in, we'll go under the hood. Oh, and I've done, this is that stupid thing. It's on the 4Runner as well. I mean, intuitively to me, this is the hood release, and then it's got a hood release right next to it. I don't know. I think that could have been designed a little bit better. Really bugs the crap out of me. Distinguish between these things more than just visually. Okay, so here is a 32-valve VVT, variable valve timing V8, 4.7 liters, about 265 horse or so. Very torquey, very peppy. That VVT system makes it breathe good all across the rev band. And it's the same V8 you'll find in their big sedans, or the big brother to this thing, the LX470, which inherently is going to make this a more, you know, responsive vehicle in terms of power to weight. That goes through a very fancy all-wheel drive system, lovely stuff, and makes it, you know, a bit of a torque monster for its size. Also gives it a tow capacity of about 6,500 pounds, Lexus says. I'm a bit skeptical on that. I bet it's straining before it reaches that weight, but okay, we'll say it's true. It's certainly in the specs, so pretty great tow capacity on this full frame all-wheel drive setup. I'll go back there real quick so you can see the hitch. This one does have one. Someone once crabbed at me in the other video that the hitch was underneath this little plastic cover. Well, obviously it's not, because there is your big full-frame receiver hitch type thing underneath that plastic cover. Look at the size of that pipe out the back, too. Good Lord, it looks like something on a Sons of Anarchy motorcycle. Blue tinted mirrors, and just all very lovely. Let me see if I can get the key out of my pocket without upsetting the Apple Card here. Okay, so I'm now very much happy in my very soft leather seating. Very nice. You see when I put the key in the wheel, it irritatingly moves the steering wheel down on me. If you're not ready for that, or if you're doing it cross-handed like I just was, that's a little bit of a pain in the rump. Lexus gives you all these very nice backlit gauges. That's the music or sound. That's, you know, one of their distinguishing features is the gauge cluster is all black and then springs to life when you fire it up. All right, seatbelt on. You also have the best wood steering wheel in the business. I mean, not always been a fan of wood steering wheels. I find they can get hot down here in Florida, and not so this one. For whatever reason, whatever materials they used, it stays pretty nice. Down here, you've got this row of buttons that I'm not going to be able to read without my glasses. I really should have thought ahead on this, so let me get those out and see what we got. I know, bear with me. God, it's so quiet in here. I don't know how they've managed to make such a substantial SUV so bone quiet inside. Okay, so you've got your mirrors, you've got an AC 115 volt outlet, your dimmer control. This will lock the center diff if you need a little bit of off-road credibility. You've got your defrost there, probably for the mirrors and such. RSCA, I think that's part of the hill ascent feature that makes it better to go uphill as much as you can. Your suburban housewives are not really going to be doing that. You got window switches right out of a 4Runner, and that means they're going to stay working. You've got this very nice nickel trimmed speaker down there, sort of denoting that it has that Mark Levinson sound. Your memory seats in a nice convenient place there. Multi-function steering wheel, cruise control. Nice power tilt and telescope on the wheel, your fog lamps on those HID headlights. Very simple, well laid out instrument cluster, including the indicator for your rear height control on the air suspension, which works great, by the way. That's over here. Let's see if we can get a sport. I'm going to go up one, so there we go, into high, and it's flashing at me. And in a few minutes or seconds or whatever, that's going to lift up the suspension on it and give you a little bit more room to get over stuff. I'm telling you, you are not going to be able to find anything this truck has a hard time getting over. You want to talk about rival gang members in the CLS and all that, forget it. You don't even need to raise the suspension on this thing. You just drive right over them. Over here, very nice little center infotainment unit. Lexus was ahead of the curve on this stuff. They were really better than Benz or BMW in this year in terms of having you know, nice touchscreen stuff that worked great. Lots of buttons to control it otherwise, and very easy to read layout. We have a rear camera, all very nice. You've got, of course, your navigation. You've got your sound system. I don't know, what do we have? 1011. That's station designed for really old people, which I'm getting there. See what we got. What is that, Alice in Chains or Pearl Jam? Nice. Okay, so we're going to leave that on. I'll rock out in a minute. You got a clock and a temp control there that's directly out of like a you know, early 90s Toyota. They've just kept that forever. Mark Levinson, you get some sort of a center speaker, probably for some Dolby thing. Again, all these direct access things, which are quite nice. You get into your menu, you can set up your Bluetooth and, you know, the infotainment the way you want it. Down here you have a cassette deck. Nice. Lexus kept those for a long time after everyone gave them up. So if you still have a bunch of Billy Idol cassettes from the 80s, you'll be able to run them there. Down here you've got your heated seats, you've got an auxiliary input. Again, you've got the controls for your air suspension. You can see we're now in high. Nice. Going to go back down to neutral. You can set it for comfort or sport or whatever you want. Descent control, that's very nice off-road feature. Again, sure to be utilized by your suburban housewives if, you know, Whole Foods has a pretty steep ingress and egress. You press that and it's going to keep the front end from diving and bobbing and weaving as you're going down a hill. Very, very cool stuff. We got all kinds of little Lexus compartments. There's an ashtray. You know, okay, so your ashtray consists of this giant thing here and a little pop-down thing here. I mean, it's just obviously a little bit over-engineered for a Japanese vehicle that takes up a lot of room for one ashtray and cigarette lighter that all could have been together in one unit, but whatever. The nice thing is it's a Lexus, so it's probably not going to break the way it would on a Mercedes or BMW. No secret compartments there. Second start, I forget what that is. I'm going to have to look. Maybe I'll have that in the description, but I forget. Beautiful wood and leather shifter. Makes it easy to get around into your 5 gears. We have more cup holders here that can't seem to open. We'll have a look at that. This one I can, and there's a remote control for the rear audio. Does it close again? It does. Okay, nice. Over here, your transfer case control. Oh, God, in the glove box, you got, there's the CD changer for the Mark Levinson sound. Up here, you've got a self-dimming mirror with the compass. You got a nice big power sunroof, lovely. And, of course, being Lexus/Toyota build quality, all this stuff stays working. You know, with 130,000 miles on it, this thing is mint. I don't know who owned it, but they were pretty particular people and probably really annoying people to have dinner with. Make you take your shoes off to get inside the house or the car. At this speed, it just glides over the pavement. I mean, again, we're not talking about a unibody construction. We're talking about a big full frame, you know, essentially a truck. And still, Lexus has managed to make the ride dynamics pretty nice and soft. But, I mean, if I wanted to immediately take this thing and, you know, run it up the side of a mountain, it's going to be giggly and happy to do it. And that is pretty cool stuff. A very torquey response from that big 4.7 V8. Nice. Ice cold air conditioning, of course. Big high seating position for those people who love that. You know, whenever somebody tells me they want to sit up high, I just roll my eyes. It's so estrogen. So estrogen. And no offense, but I mean, sitting up high, what difference does it make at this point? It really doesn't make you any safer than when you're in a sedan. I know people think it does, but it really does not. In fact, when you add in all the, you know, the rollover type concerns, you know, one could very much argue that a sedan is a much safer vehicle than an SUV. Ladies are really driving the SUV market, which is quite odd because I think ladies are technically more liberal than men in the grand scheme of things with all their, you know, recyclable straws and shopping bags and, you know, whatever else it is they're up to. Then all of a sudden they all want to drive school buses with fog lights and leather sofas in the back. Just something I don't quite understand. Anyway, if you are going to drive a school bus with, you know, fog lights and leather sofas in the back, this is one that I could live with. I mean, don't bring home any of these crappy unibody fake SUVs that, you know, get stuck in your neighbor's driveway when you're trying to, you know, make a statement. Drive something that can actually attain some serious off-road credibility and, you know, do things that only very proper four-wheel drives can do. And this Lexus GX is one of those, and that's what makes it really cool in my book. So there it is. This is a 2008 Lexus GX 470 four-wheel drive SUV, true body on frame. This is a bad mofo. It really is. It really is. You know, for a soft, cushy Lexus vehicle, it's got all the capabilities you could ever want to go off-road, and that's neat stuff. If you have an interest, give us a call, 239-298-8000, on the web at aenaples.com. Always happy to talk to you about this or any other vehicle we have hanging around. So thank you for having a look. We appreciate it, and we'll see you with the next one. Take care.